Ethan Miller had never been the loud one. In every family gathering, he was the quiet soul sitting in the corner, sipping coffee while his younger brother Ryan filled the room with laughter and stories that always seemed larger than life. Their parents adored Ryan's charm, but relied on Ethan's stability. Ethan built a modest financial consultancy right after college. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work, helping small businesses find footing in a cruel market. His office smelled of coffee and old books, and his success came slowly, one client at a time. To Ethan, that was enough. Ryan, on the other hand, was always chasing something bigger. The next trend, the next startup, the next big applause. He had the kind of charisma that made people believe in dreams, even when there was no plan behind them. One evening, Ryan showed up at Ethan's office with his usual grin and a spark in his eyes. "Ethan, I've got it. The idea that'll change everything." He laid out his vision, a tech platform that would revolutionize logistics by using predictive AI. Ethan listened carefully, running through numbers, risks, and projections. He gently offered suggestions about budget control and legal compliance. Ryan's grin faded. He leaned back, half laughing. "Ethan, you run a small consultancy. You give small business advice. This," he gestured at his laptop, "is the future. You wouldn't understand." The words cut deeper than Ryan realized. Ethan felt something shift inside him, a dull ache of humiliation mixed with quiet disappointment. For years, he had helped Ryan with college loans, rent, even business pitches. He had believed in him when no one else did. That night, when Ryan left with his big dreams and bigger arrogance, Ethan stayed in the office long after midnight. The sound of the ticking clock echoed in the silence. He whispered to himself, one day, he'll understand the value of small things. He didn't know then that day would come, but not in the way either of them expected. 6 months passed after that bitter conversation. Ethan buried himself in work, trying to silence the sting of his brother's words. He stopped checking Ryan's social media posts about entrepreneurial genius and visionary thinking. Life returned to its predictable rhythm, until one cold December evening, Ryan appeared at his office again. But this time his confident posture was gone. His eyes were tired, his tone subdued. "Ethan, I need your help." Ethan looked up, surprised. Ryan's dream startup, Tech Logistics, had burned through its seed funding. The investors had pulled out, citing poor management and unrealistic timelines. He was drowning. Ethan listened quietly as Ryan spoke, his voice trembling between pride and desperation. The same man who once mocked Ethan's small business advice now sat in front of him, begging for guidance. After hours of talking, Ethan made a decision that would change everything. "I'll invest," he said softly. "But we do this right, legally, transparently. It'll be a joint venture." Ryan's face lit up instantly. He stood, hugged Ethan tightly. "You won't regret this, brother. I swear on everything." Against every instinct, Ethan transferred $180 million from his consultancy's reserve funds, money built over years of client trust and hard work. It wasn't just an investment, it was faith, wrapped in blood and family. In the following months, Tech boomed. Investors returned, impressed by the sudden financial backing. Ryan became the new face of innovation, flashing smiles on magazine covers, attending galas, and giving interviews about his vision. Ethan rarely appeared beside him, content to watch from afar. He told himself that family success was shared success. But then the small signs began. His name vanished from the company's website. Emails went unanswered. Board meetings were scheduled without his knowledge. When Ethan finally confronted Ryan, his brother only smirked. "You said it yourself. Ethan, you're good at small business. Let the big boys handle the big world." Ethan froze. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. All he could hear was the echo of his own generosity, mocking him in Ryan's voice. It happened faster than Ethan could have imagined. Within months, the world believed Rovetek was the product of Ryan's genius. His name was nowhere, not in the documents, not in the shares, not in the story. The betrayal hit like a slow, moving storm. First came the whispers, investors calling Ryan the sole founder. Then the audit notice for Ethan's firm, demanding records for the $180 million transfer. The regulators called it suspicious. His clients panicked. His firm, the one he'd built from nothing, crumbled under the weight of ruined trust. Ethan was left with nothing but silence. Days blurred into weeks. He stopped eating properly. The laughter of his employees was replaced by the echo of an empty office. Sometimes he'd replay Ryan's words in his head, "Let the big boys handle the big world." Each time, the wound deepened. But pain over time sharpens the mind. One night, as he watched Ryan's interview on TV, his brother dressed in a designer suit, bragging about his solo success. Something in Ethan's eyes changed. He didn't see a brother anymore. He saw a liar thriving on his blood and sweat. That night, Ethan wrote down one word in his notebook: reclaim. He began quietly, rebuilding himself under a new name, EM Holdings. He worked from home, no staff, no publicity. But Ethan had one advantage Ryan didn't: patience. Using his financial expertise, he started acquiring small startups, the very kind Ryan's company ignored. He focused on innovation, integrity, and sustainability. In 2 years, his network expanded silently across sectors: transport, software, logistics, all connected through legal patents that Ethan had registered long before Ryan's company even launched. Unknowingly, Rovetek was still using those very patents. Ethan didn't need to shout or confront. His revenge was not rage, it was strategy. Every move Ryan made now stood on ground Ethan secretly owned. 3 years after Ethan lost everything, Rovetek stood on top of the world, or so it seemed. Ryan was hailed as a visionary. His face splashed across business magazines, but beneath the shine, cracks had begun to form. One morning, his legal team stormed into his office with panic in their eyes. "Sir, we've received a cease and desist notice. All your core logistics patents have been revoked." Ryan's smile faltered. Those patents were the backbone of Rovetek. Without them, the company couldn't operate. Lawsuits flooded in. Partners withdrew. Stocks plunged overnight. And at the center of every document, one name appeared: EM Holdings, the silent firm that had acquired the original patents years ago. Ryan didn't know it yet. EM Holdings was Ethan. 2 weeks later, a press conference was announced. The media gathered, eager to hear from the mysterious company that had brought Rovetek to its knees. When Ethan walked onto the stage, the room went silent. He looked calm, composed, not a man seeking revenge, but a man reclaiming his truth. He stood before the cameras and said, 3 years ago, I invested $180 million in a company built on my vision and my work. I was erased, but I never stopped believing in small beginnings. Today, I stand not to destroy, but to remind. Family is trust, and trust is not a tool for ambition. The media exploded with questions, proof, and headlines. The truth spread like fire. Ryan's empire collapsed within days. Later, Ryan came to see him. No suit, no cameras. Just a broken man standing in the doorway of Ethan's quiet office. His voice cracked. "Ethan, I ruined everything. I don't even know who I became." Ethan looked at him for a long time, not with anger, but with the calm of someone who had already let go. "You wanted to build an empire," he said softly. "I just wanted to build something honest. Now you understand the difference." Ryan's eyes filled with tears. Ethan didn't ask for repayment. He didn't boast, didn't shout. As Ryan left, Ethan whispered, "I forgive you, but I'll never trust you again." Outside, the wind carried away the last echoes of bitterness. Ethan stood by the window, watching the sunrise over the city, quiet, golden, and peaceful. His revenge had never been about destroying his brother. It was about reclaiming himself, and in that silence, justice finally felt sweet,